Hello my epic army, this is your pal Nova, and I'm coming at you today with The Last of Us 2 and the 5 things I am most excited about for this game. The Last of Us Part 1 was my favorite game of all time, or pretty close, and I'm very excited to see what The Last of Us Part 2 will be, and based on the trailers, I'm hyped as hell. So before we get started, I just want to remind you to post in the comments below what you're most excited for The Last of Us Part 2. If I get enough submissions, I will try to do a video to gather them all together, and your comments may make it into a video. The last piece I want to touch on is that this will contain spoilers for The Last of Us Part 1. If you do not want to be spoiled, please turn around now. Alright, so my first point is actually Joel's death. Yes, hold on, I know. We don't actually know if he's killed or not, or if he's still alive. He did show up.
Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life.
Well, yeah, there he was. But anyway, without going too far, I do want to say that story was going to be one of my number one elements, but there's so many pieces of this story that I actually broke it into a couple different points for this video. I know it's not confirmed that he's dead or alive, but here's what I'm thinking. He's going to be in his mid-50s in this game. The story arc with him and Ellie has kind of come to a peak in part 1. So what else can they do with this? Well, I'm thinking that if he dies, it could actually add to Ellie's story, which is what's going to be the focus of this game. I think that him and Ellie became really attached in part 1, and I think that him dying would really add to her fuel and her hate and all that stuff I'm going to touch on very shortly in the Ellie part of my top 5 list. But I think that personally that Joel needs to die, and maybe he starts off alive and dies mid-game, and that creates what we see here, but I don't know, we'll see. Number 2 on this list is going to be the improved combat. We've seen a lot of this in action in a few trailers, especially the last trailer they showed. You're seeing that trailer right now, especially the combat part of it. Some high points for me are the jump button, the improved stealth mechanics, including a meter to know when the enemies can see you, and lastly, a prone and dodge additions. All this on top of what I'm guessing will be super smooth shooting system. It looks that way anyway. This will make for some super fun combat. Again, we saw this in the trailers, but this should add to an already great base combat. We also know that there's improved AI system, and the enemies will now group up and be a lot more tactical. Now, a lot of this stuff I saw in the combat trailer, I'm not sure if it was just kind of staged or that the player knows exactly how to do stuff, but to me it looks like there's some variables in how you take down the enemies, or how you take down these groups of enemies, and just the different ways you can go about it, which would be really cool. Also, a change in the combat is that we get to play as Ellie instead of Joel, which is apparently going to change a lot of things, mostly because she's a lot less strong, but she's a lot more agile and sneaky. Last piece I want to touch on is we also get to see this new crafting system, which works on the fly, much like we saw in Horizon Zero Dawn. That was an amazing game. The crafting worked really fluid in that game. It looks like they've adapted some sort of system like that into The Last of Us Part 2. My number 3 reason is Ellie. Maybe this should be number 1, but, well, this is just how it played out. So, with Ellie, there's a lot of questions I have. What happened over the last 5 years? Does she know what Joel did at the end of Last of Us Part 1? What about her relationship with her girlfriend named Dinah? Is Dinah even her girlfriend? yeah, they kissed, but Ellie really seemed to think that the other guys were after her. And there was that one guy that Ellie talked to and said, yeah, you'll be back together in a week. So that's kind of interesting. The other piece is, did we actually see Dinah dead in one of these trailers? Take a look at this.
Beside the still waters, and they restore my soul, but I can't walk on.
Yeah, kind of looks like her, but not quite confirmed yet. Anyway, what we've seen so far is a much darker side of Ellie. She's killing people. She's definitely out for revenge.
You really gonna go through with this?
I'm gonna find, and I'm gonna kill every last one of them.
So anyway, there that is. We know that this is going to focus on Ellie, and I'm very, very excited to learn more about Ellie and just see how her story plays out. And I'm very curious about what the events are going on in this Last of Us Part 2, because there seems to be a lot of shit going down. My number 4 point is The Infected. Now, I've watched all the trailers that they've released so far back a few times, and I only caught one glimpse of Infected. Here it is. Alright, so this makes me very curious. What transpired over the last 5 years? Did they find a cure? Is one of the groups of humans holding a cure, and that's why they're all fighting? Did they just eradicate most of the infected so there's less of them around now? Are they starting to battle the infection by way of just people staying away from it? Will the infected even play a role in this game at all, other than maybe very minor role? The trailers seem to focus a lot on battles between humans and the different factions of humans, and they don't really touch on the infected. Maybe that's because we already know about the infected, or maybe that's because they're taking a side seat in this Part 2. And lastly, the number 5 thing I'm looking forward to in The Last of Us Part 2, the game itself. I know, that seems kind of silly. This is supposed to be a list about things inside the game, but I'm super duper excited just for the game in general. I'm super excited for a game in this space, the survival horror with a very great story. That's my favorite types of games, are always story-driven games. Secondly, I'm very excited for a game that's very adult-based. We can see from all the trailers that this game is not holding anything back. They're breaking people's arms, they're shoving knives in people's throats, they're cutting people's bellies, which is quite curious to me, and I'm planning another video around the trailers here, so I might talk about that some more, but there's something going on with bellies here. They definitely have an affection for bellies. There's just a lot of blood and gore, arrows into people's heads and everything. This is an adult game, and I'm super excited for that. There's none of this political correctness going on here. They are not scared. They are putting it all in this game. I'm super excited for that. Lastly, I just think that it's going to be an amazing game. You get to explore this atmosphere of Seattle. We get to explore the characters, the new characters that we don't know anything about yet. Get to see where Joel and Ellie are going. Maybe Joel dies. I think that this game has just got so much potential. I hope I'm not overhyping it, but please, Naughty Dog, you can do it. That's my picks for what I'm most excited for in The Last of Us Part 2. What are you guys and gals excited for most? Throw that in the comments below and let me know. Also, hit that thumbs up. If you like Last of Us content, I will keep doing it for you. Also, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you will be notified about upcoming content from Less Than Epic. Thank you again, everyone, for following us, for subscribing to us, and for watching our videos. Have a good one and get good scrubs.
Hey, it's Radit here. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe as well. It really helps out the channel. We put out multiple new videos each week and we appreciate all of your support. Thanks for watching, everyone, and cheers.